everyone. Welcome back. And right now we're on yet another exciting topic, which is how AI will shift customer experience to the next level. One technology trend that has caught everyone's attention in recent years is the way AI is evolving. Its disrupting nature has given its enormous potential with countless applications. Among the many possibilities that AI promises, CX seems to be completely overhauled. Well, this panel discussion will cover why chatbots and AI have the potential to transform CX provision for the better, how AI and data analytics improve customer experience, how AI, ML, RPA applied to improve customer experience, addressability of the best practices for offline-online integration, data monetization, AI techniques to support omni-channel customer and dealer journeys, understanding where AI-powered solutions will make the greatest impact on your customer experience and business bottom line, and also artificial intelligence, which will have the most transformative impact on AI. Let's discuss that and more. Well, we are joined by our eminent panelists. First up, Winnie Rebancos, the Information Technology Director, Coca-Cola Beverages, Philippines. Winnie currently working as a technology director at Coca-Cola Beverages. She's somebody who's fueled by enthusiasm, enjoys collaboration, and absolutely loves technology. Thank you so much, Winnie, for joining us. Well, we also have Dr. Chen-yu, the Director, Secretary General, Taipei Smart City Project Management Office, Global Organization of Smart Cities, Taiwan. Well, Dr. Lee has worked on numerous central government projects, including the Smart City Promotion Project, Cloud Computing, Industry Project, UX Project, e-learning project, etc., and has over 15 years of research experience in the ICT-related industry. Thank you so much, Dr. Lee, for giving us your valuable time. Well, we're also joined by Carmen Oprea, the Vice President Product, Happy Fresh Singapore. Carmen, with close to 10 years of experience working with and co-founding companies, Carmen currently is working with Happy Fresh as the Vice President of the product. Thank you so much, Carmen, for giving us your time. Well, we also have Mayank Singh, the head of marketing and technology, Domino's Pizza, Indonesia. Well, a passionate new age business who has worked with companies like a businessman who's worked with companies like Z Entertainment, Domino's Pizza, India, Times, NDTV, tech startups, and more. He's somebody who's currently leading the marketing, technology, and digital business for Domino's Pizza Indonesia. Thank you so much, Mayank, for joining us. We also have Rohit Shavarikar, the lead devices and services customer experience, Google APAC. Well, Rohit is responsible for driving great customer experience for Pixel and Google Store customers in APAC. At Google, he's also worked on driving customer experience for products and solutions being developed for new internet users in emerging markets. Thank you so much, Rohit, as well, for joining us and giving us your valuable time. And ladies and gentlemen, for the final bit and the best bit, we have got our moderator, Ray Luktu, the founder and CEO, Hungry Workhorse Fellow, Institute for Digital Transformation. Well, Ray is a veteran business executive and entrepreneur with several years of professional experience gained from the information and communications technology industry, with successful and extensive experience in digital and cultural transformation engagement. Thank you so much, Ray, for agreeing to be a part of this amazing panel and moderating it. We couldn't have asked for anything better. Over to you, Ray, with your panel. And once again, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavana. Thank you for that generous introduction. So welcome, panelists. This is indeed an interesting topic, artificial intelligence. It has been the talk of, businesses for the past few years. And we have seen a lot of developments in this, especially in CX or customer experience. So we'll make this conversational, everyone. So, we have, an able host of panelists here. So let's start. Let's start the ball rolling. Dr. Lee. All right. So it's great to have you here. So
thank you, Ray.
So great to see you. So AI, AI has been really impressive the past several years. And in fact, recently, there's a huge and barrage of AI-enabled applications. I'll talk about MyHeritage. MyHeritage has been there. YouTube is flooded with MyHeritage videos of dead people moving again. And this has, you know, AI truly has an impact on the experience, not only customer experience, but our experiences. So AI, what's the is it really what's the most transformative impact of AI in customer experience based on what you see, in the market out there?
Okay, thank you, Ray. Okay, first of all, I'm very glad to join these discussions. It's Ray, and just the moderator just mentioned. Actually, I come from the Taipei smart city office right now, so I will talk more about how exactly the AI will improve the user experience, especially in the small city areas. So actually, I believe that the AI will impact the CSS for sure, especially when in the past actually we do lots of projects to relate to the AI to helping to serve the citizens. And here comes some of the facts in Taiwan. I'm not sure with in other city or other country, but actually in Taiwan, the more and more young people, they're very get used to use their online and virtual services instead of the physical services. But in the past, we still have lots of elder. They're very very familiar with the physical services. So they probably don't want to use the virtual services. So they rather than to do anything face by face. But after last year, we have a COVID situations. Everything's changed. So for almost everyone who not forced to not only willing but also forced to do anything without in a virtual ways. So that makes we face lots of problems to deal with the with the citizens, because we have lots of different kind of services need to service to our citizens. So the cost of the human power is very high right now. So it's almost very difficult to only serve the people by the very traditional digital way. For example, the website is not good enough to provide a good service to our customers. So what we do actually, for example, we have a citizen hotline that's called 1999. That means for every citizen, they just dial 1999 and they can almost complain everything, and we need to deal with the problem that they just proposed. And every week, actually, we have more than 100,000 of code for that. That's actually a very huge amount of the data and input, and also lots of problems we need to deal with. So we spend lots of human power to only to answer the phone and chat with the citizens. So definitely, AI will be the most important and the key solution for to deal with this kind of problems, because we don't have unlimited human power, and it's also costs a lot. So we start to try all kind of the AI solution 2 years ago, include chatbot, and also last year actually we tried to do some AI co-answering system, because the chatbot is not actually it's not good enough to deal with all kind of situations. For example, for most of the citizens, probably half of the citizens, they are not very willing to answer the question by typing, so they're rather to by the talk. So it's make us not only provide one digital way to satisfy their needs. So we need to figure out lots of different AI solutions to help us to serve the citizen in a better way. So definitely AI is the most important technology that we can provide a better user experience in the smart city area.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Now, I'm hearing some great applications in Taiwan, especially in delivering public services, right? So you spoke about chatbot and augmenting the the digital experience with the physical experience.
I have to say it's not only about the user customer experience. Actually, in the past 5 years, we initiate about 250 all kind of the pilot projects, and half of the projects relate to the AI.
Wow.
We use a lot of AI on the traffic detection, traffic control. That probably not necessarily relate to the customer, user experience, customer experience, but AI is very important right now for everywhere.
Well, so interesting. Applications of AI in smart city implementation. That is really interesting. Rohit, let's move to you. So being in Google, you've been involved in a lot of CX activities and initiatives. What are the other different use cases or implementations of AI in the field of CX, especially as it relates to your experience in Google?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that question. So, I mean, obviously, as we know, the most common use case for an AI in a customer experience, customer service space is a typical chatbot. I think the biggest use case for AI, which all of us are aware, is about enhancing the ability for the customer to self-serve their problems or self-serve or any reason why they need to contact. But beyond that, there are a few more use cases which I think are pretty transformative and which can use the capability of AI in a very large manner. And three comes to my mind. Three categories, if I may say so, comes to my mind. One is something around routing and case management. I think both at Google and I've seen at some of the other industry, some of the other companies as well, I've seen a really impactful use of AI to make sure that the customer contacts are routed to the right agents. And that may depend on sort of past experience of the agent of handling similar issues, their knowledge, their skills available, and so on. There are so many factors which can go in to route the customers with the right agent with a ultimate goal of optimizing for CSAT, let's say, or we have to have an optimizing goal. So routing and case management is one. Another use case which I've seen is troubled user, where at Google, what we do is that we identify users who are especially troubled because of, let's say, long wait time for resolution of their problems, or because of multiple repeat contacts or things like that. And AI can play a really good role in helping us predict first of all, and then focus on those users and solve their problems proactively. So that's one category on routing and case management. I think the second category which I see is around personalization. Obviously, as all of us again know, AI can really help us hyper personalize an experience of a user. So, for example, which help articles to show to which type of users, based on their context, based on which part of the product are they exploring, based on which part of the user journey they are in. In the previous presentation, I was there, and I also saw some sort of an agent recommendation engine, right? So that can also be personalized a lot using AI. How agent interacts with the user, what type of appeasements, for example, they can offer, what type of discounts they can offer to the customers can be very well informed with a rich AI engine. And lastly, the category which I see in terms of the application is obviously around reporting and insights. Reporting and insights can be made very, very rich by proper use and application of, again, AI tools. Couple of things which comes to my mind around that is things like issue categorization, right? A lot of companies needs to do that, take the voice of customer back to product, improve the product, and a lot of these things like issue categorization, if that can happen, if AI can play a really good role in helping right categorization very quickly, fraud and risk assessment, on dealing with customers, like which are expected to be fraudulent cases and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of rich information which can be extracted from all the interactions, all the customer interaction, which can then help us improve our product processes and policies in the company. So yeah, as I said, routing, hyper personalization, and reporting insights are the three sort of broad use cases which I see beyond the service.
Interesting, Rohit. No? So routing or case management, personalization, reporting, and insights. No? Truly, powerful use cases. Let's move on to some business use cases. No? So we have, Winnie and Carmen and Mayank here. Working for consumer, companies. No? Let's start with you, Winnie. No? So what AI-powered solutions are you using? In your business in Coca-Cola? Which improves customer experience and at the same time impacts the bottom line.
Hi, Ray. Nice to see you again. Thank you for having this conversation. Actually, there are a lot of ways AI and data analytics can help improve in the FMCG setting. So let's say, for example, in sales, there would be AI tools that offer like white space analysis for sales and recommend immediate action on opportunities. They can also prioritize leads, give you ideas on who to convert, what to close, offer account insights, generate forecasts, and probably provide explanations as to why those forecasts are running that way. Recently, we have also been working on a customer service assistant, which can help improve customer experience because it reduces time to response and allows users to interact with your company through either whatever platform your customer would like to, like either text. The infrastructure here in the Philippines is not as good as anywhere else in the world, but we can have our customers reach out to us via text or a voice conversational agent. We don't have to worry about holidays because if you put a person during holiday mode, then you would have to pay for that extra. But this time, if you do a conversational agent, that's 24 by 365 days of the year. In marketing, there are also AI-powered solutions that allow marketing to generate highly personalized message at scale that could not have been achieved using humans alone. So all these things, Ray, I think they all started by just mapping and analyzing the current customer journeys and life cycles we have in the company, which are considering not yet the AI applications, but just the business problems that we would like to be resolved. Businesses like Coke like us, should be asking ourselves, what are the experiences that our customers are having at the moment? And then questions would be also like, how do our customers perceive us? Or what is the current journey from buying cycle to the consuming cycle to the feedback points? I think these are all great areas where AI can actually help and understand and then help us in resolving not just business problems, but ultimately improving CX.
Right. So you mentioned some great examples in your company. So applications in sales, customer service, and marketing.
Yeah.
Carmen, in Happy Fresh. So what sort of AI-powered applications are you using or plan to use? And do you see some great impacts in CX?
Yeah, for sure. So Happy Fresh is a grocery delivery platform. So because we deal with food, which we think is a very sensitive shopping category, for us, personalizing and improving that customer touch point and understanding across the entire shopping journey actually has been critical. So it's been years that we've tried to think how can we make personalization and conceptualization part of a unique differentiator for Happy Fresh, let's say. Part of that approach, we've focused on several things. Maybe I'll draw attention to two big areas of focus for our company. First, we tried to conceptualize the entire customer journey. So this goes back to marketing, sales, and customer interaction with for support. We see, especially in marketing and customizing the selling journey, a lot of potential ROI for our business, as we've been able to successfully link those improvements and usage of AI and machine learning with better ROI for our businesses. So we're super excited about that. At the same time, a bit of a more invisible, I'd say, hand in the customer experience is the responsive, personalized support. It's not so easy to always link good CX or good customer support with business results, but we thought it's critical at HappyFresh. And in the last years, we've made it a focus to bring contextualized interaction across all existing channels for support, and those channels are only growing by the day. So it's quite a big area of focus for us. Email, SMS, chat have been there for a while, but what we're seeing now is that we're scaling chat as an application across more and more platforms and channels, and we think that in the markets where we operate, Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia will continue to grow. So we're putting a focus there. At the same time, we're super excited about the opportunities of scaling messaging and chat also as a potential shopping experience, and we've run some experiments around that as well.
Interesting, Carmen. Wish we have HappyFresh in Philippines, so we can do our groceries hassle-free. So personalization indeed, Carmen, are great applications. Let's move on to you, Mayank, in Domino's Pizza. You're head of marketing and technology in Domino's Pizza Indonesia. So Domino's is known for to deliver on time. So any applications that you have in your company that uses AI, like do you use more advanced AI in your case?
So globally, you see Domino's uses AI in multiple areas, not from the customer services to your customer reach out to personalization and building efficiency in terms of managing your inventory and forecasting. But as you said, the 30 minutes delivery guarantee, and I'll want to quote an example with Domino's, not Indonesia, but Australia, Japan, and New Zealand, Netherlands, they specifically do, which is using AI to how to reduce the delivery time. And they are working to make world records, and they're breaking their records in terms of doing the delivery. So what they do is they are trying to read the data of the consumer with the multiple behavioral data, the way he is utilizing to place an order through the app. Those data input goes into the system. Those signals the system that how much is the chance of and does the prediction that he is gonna place an order. With that prediction, the store gets a green light, yellow light, and red light to understand that how much risk he can take to start building the order before even he places. So the green is that it's go ahead, just go out and build it. Yellow is you can take a little bit of risk. He might not be placing the complete order, and the red is the one which is like, no, don't place his whatever the order is making it. So in the process, what happens is before the customer would end up placing the order, in the next 5 minutes, the pizza delivery guy would be standing at their door saying, here's your pizza. And it looks like an unreal world for him that how come a pizza I was just placed through a mobile app, it's just standing right next to my door. And which has happened to many of the customers who got surprised that how can pizza delivery can happen in just next 2-3 minutes because he just happened to place an order. So that's the biggest example in terms of how the customer service Domino's globally has been working in terms of ensuring what they are known for, which is delivery in 30 minutes, and which is reducing in most of the market now. The other is the other important aspect is it's the customer reach out, which becomes an important aspect when you happen to do a customer you want to promote. So Domino's is not a big SKU company, so personalization is very important. But because I don't have so much of SKU, so I don't need that kind of AI automation to have a personalized menu. For a HappyFresh, it makes more sense because the discovery is a problem. But in our case, the communication is the key. And the communication key, so normally if you see the global method of communication is communicating on RFM, which is recency, frequency, monetary factors, and you segment them based on their recency, you segment them based on their frequency, and then you create multiple buckets and you start targeting them. We go much higher level. We start building a behavioral targeting, which is based his behavior in terms of the kind of products he's buying. Is he a discount seeker, non-discount seeker? So what are the kind of behavior attributes he has? And those attributes, again, we conceptualize into a model and try to predict that whether this guy today is the right day, he should be receiving this particular communication so that he makes a purchase with us. So that kind of personalized communication is what we focus on to ensure that the communication that we do delivers a proper ROI, and at the same time, the customer is also happy that this is what he was willing for to listen from Domino's.
Interesting, Mayank. No, so yeah, delivery, no, especially nowadays, no, during when everyone, most of the people are at home working, at home. No, so delivery, no, logistics is a key factor now. No, so I wish we also have that application here in Philippines, Mayank. All right, so let's move on to you, Dr. Lee. So Carmen mentioned chatbot, scaling chatbots, and so chatbots, no, in Taiwan. So
Yeah.
how advanced is chatbots now? What is the potential of chatbot in the future that you see?
Okay. Thank you, Ray. As I mentioned earlier, actually, we believe that the AI not include chatbot, all kind of bots, include the voice bots, probably real robots. We're helping, helping us to improve the customer experience. But it's possible because until now, actually we the chatbot or voice bot we apply right now, actually it only can increase our performance, but it cannot increase the the customer experience right now, because the current chatbot or voice bot is still too probably too stupid, because for the chatbot, actually, as I say, lots of people, they are not very willing to text, communicate with the text, so that's a problem. And for the voice bot, actually, there's lots of local accent and local language. In Taiwan, for example, I believe every country had a very similar situation. In Taiwan, our official language is Mandarin, but in Taiwan, almost more than 80% of the people, they can speak another language called the Chinese language. And for lots of people, they also have lots of different local language. For example, there's another probably about 20 or 30% that speak the Hakkanese. So that means they will mix the language together. So it's very difficult for the voice bot to fully understand, to recognize anything they say. So that's the first problem. And the second problem is we call it the robot, they don't have temperatures. That means they cannot cannot detect the emotion of the user. So yeah, probably some of the solution provider, they try to do something with emotion, but it's not good enough. So what we do right now, actually, we still using the hybrid solutions. That means for the chatbot or the voice bot, they will deal with the probably have 50% of the job, but they always have real people. They can take over the conversation. In some of the cases, especially when the bot make the customer angry. So I think there's still lots of improvement need to do for the bot, all kind of bots who provide a better services. But I think in the future we will have a very strong bot in the future, and I also believe that the all kind of bot will be the key to provide better service for the citizens, because as I say, we always have very limited solutions and limited resources. So that means we always don't have enough people, enough human to do the conversations. So we're looking for the better voice bot and chatbot. So if you have any good idea, good solution, feel free to contact me. We're very willing to do all kind of the pilot. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Lee, no? So I hear the challenges. No? So in my multilingual and multi-dialect country like
yes,
Taiwan.
yes,
Right?
yes.
So yeah.
Probably not only the bilingual, probably some of cases using trilingual. Yeah, that's also possible, as they will mix the Mandarin, English, and also the local language together. So actually, it's very complicated. Yeah,
interesting. Now let's ask the one of the tech leaders of Google, Rohit. No? What is Google doing something here?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Lots of our company using the engine from the Google, so Google.
Google has their own product.
Yeah, so Rohit, no, so this is a common problem across many countries. No, is there any technique that Google is using now to support this kind of omni-channel customer interface? No?
Yeah, I mean, so Google, from a offering for businesses and enterprises perspective, we have an offering via our cloud organization. It's called Cloud Customer Centered AI, and that product is basically built to address such kind of needs, which is how do you provide a seamless experience across multiple channels from a user standpoint. But coming to a broader question on it's also important to really think hard on what are the use cases which lend itself well to a AI type of scenario. And if I can think of it, like there are three broad guiding principles which I think we can keep in mind. The first one is it has to be a decision making. It has to be about decision making of some sort, right? So as Mayank said, like red, or yellow and green light system, or AI sort of is most useful and productive when there's some sort of a decision making involved, which involves which requires some amount of context, and therefore it's less useful in a situation where it's about progressing a workflow, for example. The second is it has to be a complex decision, because a simple decision again could be made by traditional systems or even human being in some cases. So a complex system where there are variables, there are many variables, there's context involved and all of that, I think again AI can really drive productivity and drive efficiency over there. So that's really important. And I think the third part is as we all know, it takes a huge amount of data to train a machine learning algorithm or a AI system. So therefore, presence of past data and learnings on what went well, what went wrong, that's critically important. And as the richer that data, that training data set is, the better the AI outcomes will be. As Dr. Lee was referring to, that the accuracy of chatbot is not that high and all of that. Again, I mean, a large part of it comes down to how rich and how what's the level of quality of the training data. So these are some of the principles which can help us decide on whether really a use case lends itself well to an AI kind of system, or other traditional ERP or other traditional systems are better suited to address this type of problem.
Interesting. No? So decision making, complex decisions, and training data. Rohit. No? Great. So Carmen.
I just want to quote on this voice bot thing, because it has been a very dear project for me long ago, when even the Google Enterprise Cloud voice enabled option was not there. The Google was developing it. That was a time when the S voice was the phone which was launched by the Samsung, and the Siri was new. And we at Domino's in India, we thought of why not to replace our call center with something like Siri. and and that's where the journey began. And I started evaluating what is the company who can help me out. I went ahead and we partnered with Nuance. The Nuance was the company who was powering Siri that time. And as Rohit was mentioning, the effort that it took to first think of what is the right flow for a customer to place an order through a voice bot, wherein he is coming. The first milestone was to convince my own management. No one was actually able to envisage that this is something which can happen, and I have to create a demo to prove them, wherein I was speaking on a demo live saying that, oh, it's a sunny morning, I want a margarita pizza with extra Coke, can you deliver me please? And the bot responded, okay, that would be this much amount of money, and the order will be delivered in the next 30 minutes. That made everyone wowed and gave a green signal to start building that whole the voice-based system. Now, when we went ahead, we built the system with all the permutation, combination, flows. The point where we got stuck was, one is the adoption, the other was the whole data learning part. And this accent piece, which differs. So I come from India, where every 50 kilometers the accent used to change, even in the local language, which is Hindi. So 18 different languages, more than 18 different languages exist in the whole country, but even the accent changes with few milestones. And that was a place where the 25% of the only this numbers of chats which were the bot was able to identify. And then we took a target, let's achieve 40%. Once it achieves to 40%, then we'll go beyond. And that's how we planned it. Eventually, I left the company. There was no DAT for the project, and it ended up that no one took it forward. But the learning was that maybe we were ahead of time, and the call center replacement is not the right solution. Maybe something on a phone itself could be a solution, because people were going mobile already. So the call center replacement as a solution maybe was not the right option. That was the whole takeaway from the project that got flopped, but was so mesmerizing to still think about opening a voice-based call center.
Interesting, Mayank. No? So interesting journey that you had there. Carmen, any insight on this? Do you share the same experience? No? So understanding the application that is best suited for AI, and you have to understand if there's decision making there, if it's complex decision, and training data. This is where data analytics comes in. Any insight there, Carmen?
Yeah, we are working on quite a few exciting projects. For us, the personalizing the shopping journey is quite important. We work with, I think, one of the largest product catalogs in the region, and because of the sensitivity towards the product, as I mentioned before, this was one of the areas of focus for Happy Fresh, as one of the most important and exciting, I think, proprietary algorithms that we were able to develop in-house. So I think that goes back to clearly understanding the use case, as Rohit was mentioning, that makes the most sense for your business, and then quite critically understanding whether or not you are in a good position as a business to go in that direction. For us, it was quite important to see if we have enough historical data, if that's clean enough, with what type of data attributes do we want to work with, how do we make sure this doesn't get out of hands before we actually start making sense of it. So a lot of step-by-step processes in the last year, which is what I would recommend to any company or business that's in the process of initiating such initiatives for the organization. Yeah.
All right. So thank you. Step-by-step process in understanding the application for your company. Winnie, any insight in your experience in Coca-Cola as regards this process of going through the journey?
Of course, Ray, just recently we did a very good study on analytics covering our logistics and transportation. And in the Philippines, you would have truck bans, you would have traffic congestion, etc. So it was a good way of us understanding our data sets, how AI can actually help us identify where we put trucks, where we actually put additional transportation requirements. So it has shifted our business conditions and has actually allowed us to understand where we will play, how we will win, and what capabilities or resources we need in order to succeed. It has also given us one of the best impact also has been like we have infused changes in business processes, not just in finance area, not just in HR area, but also in logistics area. We have changes in business consumption. We could even now predict when you would consume a can versus when would you consume a 1.5 liter. So a lot of these things, when we have already identified or solid idea of how the customer currently experience our business, we consider AI as or data analytics as part of our tools in order to improve further the journey and benefit, and ultimately the business will benefit from it. We just need to make sure that we have the right strategy. If there are no choices for the customer, there is no need for strategy. So the more choices that we give the customers, the more AI and analytics can impact the bottom line.
Interesting. So strategy and decision making. So there is a question here from the audience. No? Would you have any thoughts on how data compliance or GDPR, no? access to cookies, etc., impact the AI-driven customer experience? Do you see limiting it? No? Anyone can answer that. No? Dr. Lee?
Yes, actually, it's a very serious problem when you're talking about the privacy, because as the Rehat just say, actually, if you want to do the very good data, actually you need lots of training data. Yeah, and one of our cases, actually, we face a serious problem when we want to collect the voice records from the citizens. Very difficult because because of the privacy problem. So we need to guarantee we don't break the law about privacy. So actually, the result of that case actually is failed because we cannot guarantee that we won't be able to break the law of the privacy. So that actually is a very, very serious problem for trying to train the AI bot with the data.
All right. So thank you. Mayank, do you have any thoughts on that GDPR impact?
Yeah, I do have a thought on it. So as Chen-yu said, that it's definitely gonna impact, because for an AI, it requires a lot of data to train it and then give you the result. As the law says, more the data, the better is your prediction. That's how the AI works. Now, the problem here is the gathering of the data, and I do hope that the things are going to change in a form that your data collection modes might change. So from a cookie, it might shift to something else, and a newer way of collection of data would start coming in. Like already a new word which has already been coined is a zero-party data, which you used to call as first-party data earlier, but now people have started calling it as zero-party data. So like asking you to do a survey and then collecting your own data to give you, so brands are collecting a first-hand data in terms of to give you a personalized experience in the name of zero-party data. And then it's being utilized in AI. It's one way of moving ahead in the direction that whatever may come, the AI is gonna find its way to keep predicting and keep making our life easier. So I am optimistic about that some new ways will definitely identify that's the quality of humans.
All right, thank you, Mayank. Winnie, lastly, what's your experience as regards compliance to data privacy?
Yeah, I would tend to echo what Mayank has mentioned earlier. The more data that you acquire, the more it's going to be helpful for the AI or for the analytics to actually be successful. But ultimately, I think the way we are working right now is we're making sure that we are compliant in every way. We wouldn't want to put the name of the brand in jeopardy, and we want to make sure that we are to the last bit complying to what the government requires. So it's a bit, it's impacting how we do business, but I don't think that there's much of a leeway for now. But I also believe, similar to what Mayang has mentioned, that there's going to be a positive outlook, that it will be better in the next years of working as new technologies of the future will actually be evolving.
Wow, all right. So with that, we end this panel. A lot of optimism from our panelists. So we have discussed, a lot of applications in different industries. And Rohit also mentioned, how, some policies on how to decide, how to use AI, decision making, complex decision, and training data are factors we need to consider. And of course, compliance to data privacy. So it has been very interesting discussion, panelists. So thank you, Dr. Lee. Thank you, Mayank.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen and Rohit. Back to you, Bhavana.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to our incredible
Bye-bye.
What a great panel discussion. Thank you on behalf of TressCon Global for joining us at the World CX Summit Asia. Thank you once again.